Ready to start the Psy Tai Podcast because I hit the start streaming button and I will not stop. So thank you guys for coming on. Bang. Welcome aboard the Just Tainow ship with your host, Captain Naga. Remember that? But hey, it's Santa. I'm here. Welcome. This is Just Tainow, just T-A-I, not T-H-I like the food, but we just as spicy. A place where we combine our minds with our hearts, see what our gut mind is saying down there. You see it. Connect all those three circles and let whatever come out just come on out. You know how we do? I'm gonna let the room fill up while I just play some music. Everybody grab whatever it is and stay tuned and let's have a good time enjoying and participating in the ugly truth. Breaking it down. What is it all about? What is the ugly truth? The beautiful truth. A beautiful lie as opposed to an ugly truth. Just Ty. Let's get it started. Y'all know what we in for today. I feel like God. Oh. Feel like God. Oh. I feel like God, oh. I feel like God, oh. I feel like God, oh. I just tie, oh. And I get up. I don't give a fuck. I can't get enough. I just want some more. I've been in my core. I'm tapped in the source. I see with my eyes closed. You can't do the same. I'm in the twilight zone. Man, I'm insane. Man, I'm in my brain. Am I thinking using it? That's my processor. Man, I don't abuse it. Man, I just talking about my mind with my heart. See what my gut mind's saying and I let it out. And if you in my face, bro, it's gonna spray out. So you better stay back and just relax. I just want my tax, cause it's Independence Day, but I ain't independent. Well, I guess I'm independent, but I'm independent of them, cause I'm feeling like God created this reality. Can't fuck with me. Chillin', feeling like a villain. Alright, let's share this page here. Get this pop-up chat poppin' so we do what thing. Get the chat poppin', man. Hey. Where is that V-chat at? Like God. Oh. Yeah. Now we're here. Now we are here. I mean, couldn't get to share this. Yeah, but like I was saying, we're gonna get into. And the Discord is open. I'm actually opening it up now. If y'all want to jump in the Discord, y'all can always hop in and talk live on the air, have your voice heard. Or and I threw it right down there in the chat, which is what a lot of people on YouTube say. I threw it down there in the chat. Check it out. Yeah, let's get it started. I got some announcements. Y'all see the shirt? The shirt is available. Bang, bang, bang. Hard to see up close, but yes, it's very trippy. And as well, another huge announcement. First up, yeah, I've been working on some art, and this one I want to introduce as. Let me take off this so y'all can see everything. I want to introduce this one as the. Hey, come on. Get this right first try. There it is. It's called the Proclamation of Eternity. It right there. Woo! Let's move need the line there. There we go. Proclamation of Eternity. This will be available on the Just Tainow website. Limited quality. Gonna be an NFT available too of it. So it'll be really, really limited. I'm setting the whole game up on how you can get it. But I really, really enjoy making this piece, getting better at the art. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. A proclamation of eternity. It is more to come. Getting this out on the big board really like boosted my confidence and seeing what's possible with digital art that can be made with my hands. Like Currency said, I'm pimping my pen. I sell it for dope. Bitch, bring me some more. Bring me some more. Creating realities. That's what it's about. And yeah, that's that right there. And I had let me show y'all the digital version as well, so y'all can see like a full clear copy of it. There you go. Chrome. Bang. That's it right there, so y'all can see it in all is what it is. And here goes another piece I showed y'all this last show, I believe. Yeah. And this is another shirt while we at it, coming at one shroom, two shroom, red shroom, blue shroom. Like that's just a preview. It's coming up. But yeah, that's good. Let's get back into what I was actually wanting to tie on. But what do I know what I want to tie on? I just got all these segues because I know how to put on the presentation. But really, we just tying. And if you ever don't hear, you don't got to be prepared to say anything. Say what's up. Say hey. Say the first thing that's on your mind, and we'll just toe tag along after that. But yeah, the ugly truth. The ugly truth. What does the truth mean? According to this, like, like first break it down, what the truth is. Like, oh, this is true to me. This is something that when I look at it, it fits what I'm thinking. It's like, oh, this fits what I'm thinking. It's true. So it must be true. We say that too. And then we say it's subjective truths, objective truths, subjective truths is truths that's, I'll just say subjective. Subjective truths are truths that's like you, as you perceive them. Objective truths are ones that you see a massive agreement on. But what's really objective, what's really subjective. But let's get into the word truth more and see the truth right there. You see the truth right there, what it's saying. Say old English, faithfulness, consistency. So that's where it comes from. Consistency. It's like, oh, it must be true. It must be true. What happened then, it happened then, it happened then, it happened then, it happened then. It is true. It is true. And that's how we build reality. That's how we configure reality on the most humblest terms. If it's true, we going with it. If we gotta think it's false for just a second, we probably talk about it, work with it, build a skill around it. But the natural humbug, you're just gonna go with what's been working most consistently. This is how our genes work too, through epigenetics and survival with clans and forming villages and things like that, as opposed to just going all about was like, hey, this is working. We can develop a language, develop a system of exchange for goods, the barter system, and then we got money and stuff and cash and stuff nowadays. But that's what we do. Anything that's consistent, we stick to it. You do something 3 times, it's kind of in your makeup, I be saying. Do it for 3 days straight. It's like you're gonna do it on the 4th day, even if you skip the 4th day. That 4th day gonna pop up on the 5th. Then that 5th day gonna pop up on the 6th, and then that 7th day gonna pop up right after the 6th. And then you just like, this is my truth. This is my truth because of how it interacts with you during those particular circumstances. Where when you was holding that state of mind, when you used it, when the outside force, a change, a new momentum was coming forward, holding firm to that truth, that certain truth, particular truth allowed you to go to the next moment. So you say, hey, this feeling, this energy, that's all it is. It's energy. You called it truth because it was consistent. So you're like, it can't be false. If it was false, it wouldn't happen again. So I named this The Ugly Truth, the podcast, because we love getting into our habits. We love saying what we believe is right in the particular situation, if we believe it got us through something. If we believe that it's the thing that is to, even if it feels like it's anger, it's like I gotta be angry about this, or this is just what I gotta do. It's the truth. I mean, not in truth, but like the truth is supposed to be something you're not supposed to be angry about and stuff like that. Like truth's supposed to be caring a lot of times too. People say that. Like, oh, tell it like if you truthfully honest and stuff, you know what you're doing. And that's what we going on now. This truthfully honest, because it comes with being ugly. Oh, let me share this. It comes with feeling ugly about things, I believe. Here it is. Let me post this in Truth Discord. Vote yourself. Bang, bang, bang. And what does ugly mean? Unpleasant, repulsive, especially in appearance. But let's go to the etymology. The Old Norse ugliger, to be dreaded, from uga, to dread. So it means to dread. So the ugly truth is a truth that we would be dreadful of. Something that we don't want to happen. But if the truth can actually be and is consistent, is only what is consistent, then some truths are ugly. Some truths are going to be dreadful. Some truths are going to be feeling like it's something that's unpleasantly suggestive. That's what they're saying ugly means. Unpleasantly suggestive, causing disgust, quiet, morally repugnant. Racism is the most ugly manifestation, racial attacks and harassment. I'm reading what Google said, what they wrote about it. But that's what it is. And the ugly truth is hard for people to even latch on and talk about in their own life. Sometimes we dance around it, build up around it. I like sayings and quotes around it in order to make the ugly truth seem pretty. But what's the difference between disguising the ugly truth with a pretty lie, with a beautiful lie, something that just sounds pleasant to the ear? I think that comes into huge play, especially when building up yourself on your spiritual journey and dealing with psychedelics and higher doses and going into that space, because the truth is not going to be something that was always so consistent as you once thought, but a whole new configuration that seemed to always underline what was always going on in the first place lies right there. Take a couple grams, live life to the fullest. You'll see exactly what I'm tying on, because it's not that hard to see, but it's hard to embrace. And then for most people, you start gaining a skill around it. And then it stopped being so hard. It stopped being so hard and being something that you just do. But that's what I want to tie on. If y'all have anybody out there in the comments, if y'all can type away, join the Discord and just type on delivering. How do you deliver the ugly truth? Or how do you experience the ugly truth for yourself? How do you interact with other people with displaying the ugly truth? Or are you a person that forgets about the ugly truth and disguise it with a beautiful lie? And I'm telling you guys, the beautiful lie goes a long way. Like, check out the stage by Avenged Sevenfold. I typed in the stage here. Hold on. Lyrics. Where's that? Yeah. The ugly truth. So look, this is a story about the band. I'll say the band Avenged Sevenfold going through an awakening stage of realizing the extra presence that's behind the makings of this reality, and how this is all a stage. For those new to this concept, you all heard from Shakespeare, life is a play, everything's a stage. You hear people say, oh, I just want to disconnect from this reality. And my experience with mushrooms and this life period, I'm playing a character of Just Tai. I'm playing a character of Psy Tai. I'm playing a character of Stefan. I'm playing a character of Steph. I'm playing a character of Dad. I'm happy to be able to do this. Shout outs to Jim Carrey, who's out on the airways doing this now, and people not recognizing what he's talking about. He's saying, man, I'm happy that I got to play as this character, Jim Carrey, and I got to experience all of these awesome things like making movies and things like that. So now he's embracing who he is now in his regular life instead of just having to come out behind the screen. And and all the ups and downs that come with it. That's who he is. I mean, that's who he's playing as. Why he's out here on the stage. I'm gonna do a compilation video of that as well, because Jim Carrey's the GOAT. He's one of the GOATs. Been watching his movies for millennia. Movies y'all didn't even see because they just made in other realities. But yeah, the stage. In my personal experience as Ty, getting the layers peeled back multiple times and seeing life as a stage in many different ways. So here goes this song by Avenged Sevenfold called The Stage. The Stage. And I brought this up because they talk about the ugly truth and the beautiful lie. Because he's like talking from the perspective of him arriving in this world as mankind. And then it jumps into him as a man, but as mankind essence throughout millennia, not just his one individual. So he's saying, so I arrived naked and cold, a welcome change from the abyss of the ghost town catacomb. No time for canceling, I appreciate the time, I'm not alone. There was days these child eyes will overlook the ugliness and fantasize. I fed my heart for the first time and I awakened in me. I will overlook the ugliness, the dreadful truth. He got past all of that. He wasn't just stuck. He was in the child eyes. So he wasn't just stuck looking at what was presented to him, trying to look out his two eyes, even though we don't even see with our eyes, period. But that concept metaphor is a metaphor of life. It's a training device that we all get looped into. Oh, I'm seeing with my eyes. And what I'm seeing with my eyes is things that's this life. And for most people, it's dreadful, it's ugly. And they get caught up in that ugliness. They caught up in it, seeing that that's all that there, in the case that that's all that there is to ever be. Because we all caught up in it. We don't ever get out. But it's not all that there is to be. Like he's saying, there's the stage, but that childlike mind, he was able to overlook the ugliness, get past the dreadfulness. And that's what we got to do. Look past that, because that's when you're able to fantasize, because that's when you're actually working with the energies and not caught up in the energies looking up at it. Like, what is this? But you see it, and you still never don't know exactly what it is, but you working with it. You able to, it's malleable. It's more malleable than you wish to believe. Just Ty. And then he said, I felt my heart for the first time and I awakened in me. I left myself to navigate and oh, I felt control. It seems these sheep have quite an appetite. And no, I felt control. And that's just what I was talking about. Him going out of his body finally, and he felt control. It was more malleable than he once thought, because he was actually able to get over the ugliness and fantasize. He was able to get past it. And then he said, who is the crowd that peers through the cage? Just the hook. As we perform here upon the stage. As the boy became a man and came a calm sophistication I could hardly understand. So lost in ego, didn't notice when the time had slipped away. Yeah, everybody's got a sob story. And I love this song because the person in the background is like the directors of reality. And they talking about humans and about the things that we go through. Because it's the ugly truth. Yeah, everybody's got a sob story. Come on. That's what we try to get away from. Oh, it's just me. Woe is me. I got all of these problems. I don't know what to do with them. Woe is me. I'm going to be like this forever. Because when people feel like this is how it always turns out to be. This is just the way it is. I got to love myself as I am, right? And right now, I'm a fuck up. So I just got to love being a fuck up forever. Yeah. Didn't notice when the time slipped away. Didn't notice when the time has slipped away. Ugly truths. That's the point. Jesus Christ was born to die. Another ugly truth. If that was there, and everybody get mad. Oh, people killed the man. Look at how wicked humankind is and stuff like that. If we're going to go into that story, we killed a lot of people. We killed Horace. We killed Martin Luther King. But yo, that's the truth. Look at when you look at the stage, everything is a stage. It's all playing. It's all playing out. So you was born to die. Leave it to man to levitate his own, to idolize. We're simply sociopaths with no communication, baby. We're just doing what we do without actually communicating to each other. Is this how we should continue? It's like that's the ugly truth of reality right now. And we say, no, no, everybody's doing this and this. And that. That's why people looking out for themselves a lot. And sociopaths is like, let's dive into that word. Your antisocial personality disorder. Sociopaths, we just try to trying to stay in our own zone and keep on moving without actually communicating, just tying, seeing what's in our mind, our gut. I mean, our mind, our heart, and our gut, combining all those circles, let whatever come out, come on out. We ain't even doing that nowadays. But that's what we doing right here. We doing it right now. Just tie. Don't get lost in the sauce now. You have crawled over, walked over, flew over to the good side right now, right where you're supposed to be. I see your angle, but we differ from our points of view. So tell me, what's your cross to bear? And then it says, who was the crowd that pierced through the cage as we perform here upon the stage? Tell me a lie in a beautiful way. That's the whole point I wanted to get to. I believe in answers, just not today. And that's where I want to go. Stop it. Because he's saying, tell me a lie in a beautiful way. So he's saying, hey, this reality, you trying to tell me that this is it. And it sounds beautiful. It sounds like this is it, but I know that is more to reality. And that's an ugly truth. That's on this, that's a higher understanding or higher level of being experienced. Like you gotta experience, not something you can really talk to somebody about unless they're in religion, and then it will still be danced and prettified up in this language so that it can't come off as I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's the part of the lie in a beautiful way. It is something, and that's this ultimate story. A beautiful lie is something that we all get ourselves into a lot of the times, and it's so beautiful that we'll live with it. And we're in a beautiful lie right now. And it turns into the ugly truth, and then it turns into the truth. And it's all connected. So don't think I'm choosing any sides. But in the mind, when you travel into your mind and you can see yourself for who you are, the things that we created, these are the things and energies that we created while we're here on earth for us to exist in at different moments and different times and different factions of life. And it's amazing the ups and turns and whoopsie whoops that I'm experiencing. We experience as human beings, wanting to wake up, feeling trapped, feeling like we always been woke up the whole time, and then convinced ourselves that we would sleep. It's amazing. It's amazing how we are able to generate reality, which reality is nothing but stories on top of stories on top of stories on top of stories. Mm. Let's see what old Google said about reality. I want to see where it came from. Realists relating to things from late Latin, medieval Latin, relatas, English real. Via French from the medieval Latin, late Latin, realize, relating to things. So if you can relate to it, it's real. Let's see what they say about real. Res, from Latin res, thing. Late Latin, reles. Anglo-Norman, French. Relating to things, especially real property. They kind of gonna use the word in the definition. As a legal term, relating to things, especially. Oh, let's go down. Let's go down. Hmm. Yeah, they don't really. From Latin res, thing. So if it's a thing, it's real. That's what they're saying. It's surprisingly late introduction into English, only dating for certain from the end of the 16th century. But before then, it will appear that words like platful, tangible, corporal, and incarnate were employed in various of his senses. Ooh, you see how they got that word incarnate to mean the word real? Like it's incarnated into reality, reincarnation. Hmm. Corporal, tangible. I never heard this word before. How palpable. Let's see. Let's keep going. I forgot the P out of it. Able to be touched, felt. And you know, man, how we see about what real is, what reality. Like things that's able to be felt, palpable. Palpable. Like what how do we really feel things? You know, even scientists came to this conclusion a long time ago that our senses, when I touch this bottle, is nothing but electrical impulses being transferred between this bottle and the touch receptors at the end of my fingertip being sent to the brain. I'm not actually feeling the bottle, I'm just feeling the sense of touching the bottle. And in that sense is palatable. It's something able to be felt. So then palatable, we could transfer that to today's language as, oh, that must mean that it's real. That must mean that it's real. And then if it's consistent, that must mean that it's the truth. That must mean that that's the truth of the reality that I live in the current moment. And if I cannot feel it in that moment, if it can't be felt, if it's not palpable in that moment, then it's not the truth. But then it's like the ugly truth, the dreadful truth, is that a lot of people are born into this world or come into this world that's able to still have experiences and have senses that are past the five senses that we're used to using in order to interact with the reality that is around us or in us or that we got into. like, have you got on VR goggles? Are you in the VR world or is your character in the VR world? And you're feeling the senses, the things that's palpable to you is being relayed to you through a mind technology device, which I think mind and technology is the same thing. Once you reach the higher levels, that's producing all these things, and you just this alien thing. But we term as alien because alien just means foreigner, something foreigner. But alien ain't really foreign to me. If it's me, I'm foreign to myself. I ain't no alien. Oh man, I just thought about we calling ourselves aliens, saying we're so foreigner to ourselves. I met myself. I gotta stop acting like I forgot. We know who we are. Even if some of us just got the feeling. I got the feeling. You get the feeling all the time and dress up, go and cosplay, do things that people wasn't really intending us to do. And then look at us. We be like, oh, I actually felt good doing that. I felt like myself. Just Ty, just Ty, just Ty. Just think about that. Think about that. What was that other word they used? Palpable, tangible. Tangible is like something you can grab, something you can grasp. Like this idea is not tangible to me. I can't work with it. That's how I see the word. Or let's see. Another thing that's by touch. That's what they say. A thing that is perceivable by touch. From French to late Latin, tangibilis, from tangeré to touch. So all of these things dealing with real, before we came across the word real, had to do something with things that are felt and things that are able to be touched. Let's see what corporal. Yeah, I thought this had something to do with troops. How does it relate to the word truth? Cloth, talking about a cloth, human body, military. From the Latin corpora, body. All right, so it's coming from something to mean body, a cloth, a body, relating to the human body, fleshly, earthly, worldly, mortal, carnal. Yeah, that deals with real too. I was thinking about how real the real and worldly when they say in the when I used to go to church and they read the Bible, we're made of the flesh. Well, you're nothing but flesh, and you need to tame your flesh because it's gonna have you get into all of these carnal desires that was put there by the devil. But now that we see that devil is Lucifer. Lucifer meaning the light. The light is something that's shown, therefore it's tangible, therefore it's something that can be witnessed. It can something that can be felt, because light bring forth heat, friction, interaction between particles and stuff like that. So that's something that's real. And that's why how a lot of the church and religions have you really like deny your flesh. And I see it as a overall mind training for the witness of the mystery of mysteries behind life. But while we're here, and that's why you see a lot of people go crazy. A lot of people go wild because of who they feel they are in their fleshly carnal and their carnal desires as they being corporals. Like that's who we are. We're the light. So, hold on. Somebody popped in. Let me see what's Guzzy. Hey, Martin. Is that what Tang orange drink was about? Hey, that's it. I see it. Uh-huh. That's why it's popping up on on OBS before. YouTube. It's so small. There it is. Peace. Peace, and it used to be hair grease, right? Now it's coconut oil. When I remember to, at least. But that's who we are. And that's not my only thing. Like I said, it's a bigger training involved with religion and mind training and seeing who we are here and seeing that that's not everything and that there is something greater, or not even greater, as great as something. Let's put it in terms like this. It's something that's beyond. It's something that's beyond us acting on this life and stuff. And if we listen to it, then we will be able to have clear direction in life. I love that about religion. I love that that's the main, like one of the main things at the source of religion, connecting yourself back to yourself. But in the ways that we see it now, and them denying and them saying that the ways that we feel on earth can actually be things that was implanted on us that we should never feel in the first place. And it's part of a damnation that can send you to hell, and you need to repent and confess, or we don't know what you're doing. That's why I posted that video yesterday with somebody on TikTok talking, saying, and there's a kid too, that was cool, but he was saying about how if you know about Jesus and you have people around you and you don't tell them about, and you know hell exists, you don't tell them about that, then you must hate them. You must hate them. And he was bawling in tears, so he was real serious. So I wasn't trying to play the dude. I just said what I said. Like, let's try to get out this fishbowl mentality. This fishbowl, and then you probably won't be crying so hard, and you see that everything is actually all right. It's all right, bro. It's all right. And then I titled it on Instagram. I don't know if I put it on Facebook. I'm just a fish out of water. So that's just the way that I talk. I'm just going to talk like that. Like, no, don't jump out the fishbowl. You won't survive. Well, maybe I'll start evolving. Grow some legs. Become amphibious. Maybe I was amphibious the whole time, and I convinced myself that I just had gills because I ain't really know what was inside of me. Just I'm having fun. I'm having fun. But staying on this word, corporal, earthly, worldly. Though that just was flashing through my head because those was all the words that I grew up with the preacher saying, "Hey, you can't be part of the world. You can't be part of the world. We was born of the world, but you can't be. We was born in the world, but you cannot be of the world." And I'm like, dang. Back then I was cool with it, but growing up, seeing my friends doing stuff and being like, and I used to not judge them, but I was just always curious. I was always curious, and I just saw. And back in the day, I was always in my heart looking out for them. Like, man, I wish they would think about what they were doing. Like, why are they doing this to themselves? Why are they doing this to themselves? And then as I got older and I started seeing the stuff that I was into, and then you see how it feels good when you in it. And as always, everything is always for a reason. It's always for a reason. Because you're you. All our neurochemistry is different. All the factions of life. Not all of us are the same, but all of us are different. All of us come from different factions, different realities jumping into here, different time spans, and us trying to say that this is the way that we supposed to go, it confuses a lot of us. Then a lot of us jumped here through time spans and turned on had the memory locked. Y'all see that show Loki? I didn't watch it yet, but I see a lot of TikToks of people talking about the because Loki is a new show now, and he's the main character, and I'm guessing that he deals with time travel and stuff, but it's some group called the NVA Loki. They gonna type in NBA. Oh, it's not popping up. It must be called something else. But it's the time police. And people be trying to change stuff and go back. And it's these forces at B that actually make it so everything don't always go exactly as planned. But even talking on a base level, just being able to exist as yourself helps creation. Helps creation. Like, we can help with everything else. We can help keep the program going. Like, we all got programs that people create a lot of programs, and us as a species of intellect, of reason, we want to see what it is when this massive amount of people go with this one reasoning for a lifetime, for generations. As a spirit, I'm saying. As a working out, that's what we do, and that's why no matter if we fight against it, sometimes it still be happening in front of our face, because it's like, man, we're doing this massive experiment, and then us even sometimes even being mad at it is a contribution to the massive experiment that's going on. So it's really no way out of it, because we created the experiment in the first place. Don't ever forget that. You're part of it. You're not a test subject. You're the doctor. You're the mad scientist. Oh, I was just watching The Island. I was rewatching The Island once again, and it's called The I Dash Lynn, I think. I was like, what? That don't make freaking sense, but they do got it like that. But it's about these people that woke up on a random ass beach, and then they already started having bad blood against each other and stuff like that. They wasn't trusting and all of that. And they were playing out behavior patterns, trying to form groups, gangs, find food and things like that, see who to trust, and to get a gang. And then to find out one of them, they actually thought killed the other person. So they knocked her ass out. But when they knocked her out, she woke up. And in a room, and to find out she was actually a prisoner, because you know how movies play stuff out. So follow the story. Don't get lost in your insecurities. But she woke up in a prison, and then to find out that was a new program for a prison, and they created hideous crimes, and they were put in there with their memories wiped. But she got out because she was knocked out, but she didn't die. So that it interrupted the process. So then she was interviewed by the team that put together, and it was the Warren who ran the prisons, and he ain't really like the machines anyway. He's like, I like the old fashioned way of putting people like you to just do. But he brought him. She had to go talk to the group of people who seemed like they were philosophers, as you would say. And they were just talking about ideas, inquisitive to how she felt when she first woke up. How did you feel when you first woke up? And then she was like, I didn't really know what was I supposed to do. What was the point of this whole thing? Just didn't know. Were we supposed to get food? Were we supposed to get off the island? Were we supposed to try to survive? Were we supposed to, like, what was going on? And then the lady was talking, just stopped listening to her and talked to the other guy. I was like, yeah, I told you that was my same problem with it. Like, how are they supposed to know what they're supposed to do? And then the other guy didn't really care, because I think that was his proposition of that they wasn't supposed to remember shit. So so they was debating amongst each other, and she was like, well, she mentioned it, so I'ma stand by that they should probably know. Like, that ain't cool. That ain't cool that they don't know. So it was like this eternal debate. And back in the day, they called these people angels and demons. They called these people gods. They're workers of reality. The Norse mythology got all the names. Greek mythology got Zeus and all of them. And it goes like that. But in the island, it was wild. And then she's like, I don't want to go back. Y'all can't make me. But like I said, don't get caught up. Unless you want to go to that reality where you feel as though this is a prison planet. Play your role. Play the madman running around on the streets. Just be careful. I don't want to see you get locked up. I don't want to see you harm your family. I want to see you make some friends and communicate your ideas and make some beautiful things out of it. Even if it feels like it's a beautiful lie. That's what we hear. Long as it can be felt, long as corporal, tangible, then that's reality. And that's where we are, creating reality as we go. It's all right. These are all feelings that we go through. That's why I tie on it. These are all feelings we go through, no matter how high and mighty we feel, no matter how over the top we feel about things. This is all part of the journey. Like I'm saying, any thought that I thought is something that was thought before. And that's why I feel confident thinking it and displaying it. I'm like, all right, I'm just living out a character life path. And that character life path going to change up. But it is similar to somebody's life path in another reality that I witnessed. Or is it similar to somebody that I witnessed even here? But it's still going to be different. But it's like that witnessing and seeing. And it says nothing new under the sun. And they say, yes, it is. But what sun are you really looking at? The one when you look in the sky? Or the eternal sun. The eternal sun of the infinite soul. The sun is nothing but an energy that shines light. That's why they used to worship the sun back in the day, because of what it was, what it meant. It was the life giver, the light. It shines. Not just that it was cold at night and things like that, even though the metaphors still do play. But the cold at night and things like that. But just that this is how the light goes. This is what brings warmth and makes things grow. Like I said, it's all metaphor, because plants grow actually at nighttime. I mean, like when they start stretching, they stretch when the lights is off. They eat all day from the sun. They eat, and then at nighttime they start manifesting. Oh yeah, they start manifesting at night with the moon. Hey, I'm digging the tide, brother. How much? Thanks about to pop in the headphones and walk the pup. It's a beautiful day. Oh yeah, it is. As soon as you say it's a beautiful day, you locked in. You locked into that day right there. And trust me, it's days. It's days when I wasn't even able to say it was a beautiful day. That wasn't even the thought to even try to struggle with to say. So let's say, hey, 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 it's a beautiful day. Just sing that rhyme. Sing that rhyme. Like last night, I was talking to my daughter, and she was crying a bit because she was saying when she closed her eyes, she was seeing something scary. So I was tell her like, say you could get rid of anything that you see. You can get rid of anything that you see, because I tell her all the time. And then I said I wanted her to have a response that show that her ego, whatever it is, like is going to be, it's going to respond, have that programmed on the conscious field. Now all the way back in the subconscious, probably about 5 years later. Like let's get this working in the gears now. So I kept asking her, talking to her. First she was nodding her head, like yeah, like in a way of like yeah, I know. But I was like, say yes, say yes. She's like, I don't want to. I was like, you just said I don't want to, but I didn't say that out loud. I was like, you just said I don't want to. I know your energy is there. Like, say it. Just say, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And she just kept saying, shaking her head, and eventually she said it. And then about like 2 minutes later, she was asleep. She was out going into another world. And so declaration is just awesome. Or a proclamation. That's why I named that piece that I showed y'all earlier, a proclamation of eternity. That means a public announcement, especially ones dealing with a matter of great importance. A clear declaration of something, a proclamation of his passion. I'm reading what they said on right here. Bang, bang. I know I got another joint rolled around somewhere. All right, play this right. Yeah, yeah. So going into who we are, going into and how I'm feeling about that word, about who we are and corporal and real, the ugly truth. Cause it's the artist that actually popped into my mind. I don't listen to him that much. I probably know like 3 songs, but he's called the Ugly God. He's a rapper, popular on the scene. So he know he like revealing like in his heart of hearts. He know he revealing the ugly truth. He's about just being himself. At first thought he mentioned it because he was ugly. But it's actually not. He alright. But he named himself the Ugly God. Cause I'm saying nobody gets to a certain point on the stage for no reason. Everybody got to play the name game, got to play the energy game, got to play the relatable game, got to play the defiance against the adults and stuff game, the rowdiness game. That's what sets you up to be on the center stage, the main stage. Just a lot of stages, like the main stage. Like that's what you got to do. So him having that name, Ugly God, hey, that's the truth. Oh, for some reason I want to. They mumble rap artists. That's what they titled this. Oh my god. uh, Float on Juice World, bro. But that's another ugly truth. People dissing artists, period, because of the energy that they bringing into the world. Or to bring the like saying, "Oh, you messing it up. You messing up the game." That's just a random thing I'm throwing into. But I was laughing at T-Pain when he was saying that Usher told him that he ruined music forever, and he felt sad, and T-Pain felt sad about it. It was in his documentary because he was doing auto tune and stuff like that. He's like, "You ruined music forever." And now look at it. Now look at what we enjoying and stuff like that. It's all about ushering who we are as human beings, which is never anything consistent. Even our story about who humans are is not consistent. Nothing about humans is ever consistent. So it's always going to change. Hey Martin, you said if we say who who are we in Yoda voice is not a question, but a statement, and we are who. Kinda like we are. Yeah, you can we just are. And are is put is put in a whole bunch of sentences. Like we are something, we are this, we are that, we are this, we are blank, we are blank, we are blankety blankety blank blank blankety blank. That's what they said. That's why I'm thinking of movies when they say somebody something that creates something. It doesn't have to always also be a who. Like who created this? Who was doing this? Why does always that be a who? It could be like, what essence created this? What created this? Not exactly who created it. Who created reality? What created reality? We like who? Yeah, 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 yeah. My mind stopped right there. Oh, wait, y'all, give me a slight pause. Slight pause. Thank y'all. Here, all right, we back. We back. Dun 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 dun. Wow. All right. Thank y'all for coming by. Who just left as soon as I got back? Y'all enjoyed the music. I got back. I was like, ha. Yeah, got some marijuana. Uh, yeah. We dream. Getting into that. That's an awesome thing to get into now. Dreams. Anybody ever have a dream and then start walking around couple days later, weeks later, years later, and you like, hey, this seems quite the familiarity. I've been here before. I've been here before. And then some people will label that down as deja vu. But it's different. It's hard to put a name on it when you've been in a dream already, dream and then seen it. That's why it's so powerful. The connection between not even powerful is real, but the dreams and daydreaming, we only put the difference on it. That's why when they say visualize, 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 because when you visualize, what are you really doing? I'm starting to not believe now that I'm making it up. I mean, I don't believe that I'm making it up. I'm saying I'm starting not, but that's just the gears in my mind turning. But that you don't make up your visions. You tap into your visions. It's there already. And you just literally seeing what's going on. But we're so based in reality. Like we're based in here, like that we think that we're making it up. But I'm like Ty on that. What are your thoughts on that? Of just we tapping into it. And that's why when you really visualize, you seeing things happen. You say, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I mean, oh, I made that happen. I manifested this and things like that. But manifestation, yeah. But what is it? Was you just tapped in and then aligned yourself with a certain reality at that moment based off of how you felt? That's something to tie you on, guys. Because it works so fast. Tie on that thought. The visions pop up so fast. Now you could think your processor is on mega, and you could generate it that fast, and things can be generated. But what if it was already generated, and we're actually using what we would label on TV and stuff as superpowers, super abilities, and that you're really actually special. You've been a superhero all of this time, and just been told that you're not, or that's not the case. And that is superheroes running around all the time, doing amazing things, creating projects, creating worlds and realities that we're entertained by, or that we live laws by, because they visualize that law for us to live under. Or they tapped into that visualization and let it loose upon the world. Or we just played the part. They just played their role by letting it loose upon the world. Once you start thinking like that, you start seeing the magic that's around you, the magic that we're participating in all the time. Where it's not just one generator of reality, but that torch is right there. Where it's not just one generator of reality, but everything has an infinite generator or processor in it that's creating a reality for itself. And when they link up, it creates the greater reality. Oh, they ain't sponsoring me. Gotta hold it tight. And when they link up, then that's when you got all the processing power to create the reality that's around us now. I got that idea of linking up because I've been watching the show Manifest on Netflix. And the show Manifest is very awesome. Shout outs to you, Will. Us talking telepathically. They keep motivating me to watch it because the second episode was kind of boring, even though I really loved the first one. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can keep up with this. But his voice, we just talking just like they do in the show. Heard the calling, and I watched it, and I stopped again. And I heard his voice again, and then I finished it. Now I'm on season 2 now. But it's an awesome show. I think I mentioned before about the people that disappear on a plane, come back 7 years later, 5.5 years later. Nobody know what happened to them. They don't even know what they happened. But now they came back with these gifts to know what's about to happen by hearing a voice in their head. And they started having visions. And now they starting to have shared visions together. They be meeting up at certain spots. And the government don't know what to do with it. Now they saying it's the secret government program behind the government that's been keeping track because eventually they want to weaponize them. But the little personal stories that they going through is in a way where they do not know how to really go about their life now that they're having these psychic abilities and stuff. And now it's at the point where it's getting trippy because one of them think that they need to start a church, and that it was the blessed flight for blah blah blah, and the holy passengers are now saints and stuff. So it goes so many ways because they heard the calling. Now I'm in it where people hearing the calling, the person that murdered somebody, and he said, hey, I know what's about to happen, so I gotta give me immunity to this, my case, or y'all not gonna have the information about what's all these people that's about to die. So it's really getting it's really at that state with the passengers of the flight. Oh, it's getting. I love that show. I really love that show. But putting out the drama of still dealing with everyday life with having these powers, because the other people like, man, should we rely on this calling? Like, we don't even know what this calling really is. It's leading us into all these dangerous situations. But in those dangerous situations, they are saving people and stuff. Because, a lot of stories when they play out on this kind of scale, this is much information, they want cops to be involved. So they're LA detectives. So they call in to like find missing people and know that somebody about to get robbed around the corner at times and stuff like that. And then they mix that in with the grandioso stories of feeling like time jumping and stuff like that. Because now they at the point in the show where this other guy that walked into a cave and disappeared for a year, and then he came back and he has the same symptoms. He's starting to appear with the same symptoms that the passengers of the flight. And it's this other guy that robbed the bank. He drove the truck into the water, and it was there for 3 days, and they finally found it. And when they took him out, he was still alive. So it was like the case of if he wasn't ever in the water once he did that. So it's wow, it's amazing. And then he came back, and now he's starting to have the call in and different stories. So they feel as though they died because they have no other words for it. Even though they don't ever feel like they died, they still in their same physical bodies, same memories, same feelings of the heart and everything. And isn't that how we feel with psychedelics at the big massive dose? So just tie with the correlation between the manifests, and go check it out too. But I'm saying not giving it all to just do. And we can tie on it even more. Because I have a lot of thoughts. And like I said, I will bring it up and I'll be testing reality just like he was in the show. She's like, I just had to follow the calling to see if these thoughts that I'm having, is it really something else or is it something that I'm making up? And this is something, a grandioso experience in the training of a magician. Where are your thoughts coming from? You making it up, or are you tapping into it? I remember bringing this up to an older magician that I brought up before, Samba, and he said he was just saying you're gonna see. He just said ask yourself and you're gonna see. He said you're gonna see. So you're not gonna always go direct answers. So don't even take my direct answers. Just see for yourself. Just see for yourself. That's it. Because when you see yourself as a magician, it's not like you taking yourself out of reality. Because words like I was gonna say, it's not like you're disassociating yourself out of reality. Because disassociation has been made to even mean a bad term. I've been coming across this term a lot on TikTok, saying me disassociating for 5 years and then waking up at my dream job, or me disassociation for 3 years and then waking up in a relationship I don't want to be in. And stuff like that. So it's like people having these out of body experiences where it felt like they was on autopilot for a long time, and now they just snap back in their body, and now they're able to feel again, like actually feel the heart and feel it really in the groove, excited about it. And then the people say, "Hey, wait, wasn't you doing that the whole time?" And they say, "Oh, that was a bad thing." But then look at what people actually doing. Like I said, people getting their dream jobs or getting relationships. Sometimes they say it's bad, but it's just not working out. It's not bad, it's just not working out. It's violent. That's another case. Ah, man, I forgot what I was saying. Bad is not just working out and seeing what we do in relationships. Yeah, that's always the look when I do when I'm about to figure something out again. Look at the side. Disassociation. Disassociation, and people actually using it as a bad term and something that's never supposed to happen. Because then who's to say you still not? I mean, but I think when this is dissociation, I think that's still a misunderstanding of yourself too, of what you're actually doing. But and an awesome glimpse at what you're actually doing. But let me show y'all what I mean. Let me show y'all what. Association. Here it is. Disassociation is a break in how your mind handles information. You may feel disconnected from your thoughts, feelings, memories, and surroundings. It can affect your sense of identity and your perception of time. The symptoms often go away on their own. It may take hours, days, or weeks. Now, I remember this feeling as well, because I remember saying I don't remember that much of my childhood, and I didn't have that many memories as I was moving along, even like in the past 10 years. But over the years of me dealing with psychedelics and they're having these therapeutic clinical settings of my own design with y'all, and in my own time and space, and talking with different people for different perspectives and having them come back on me with stuff, I started having memories and stuff and saying, whoa, wait, I'm actually here. And I'm still feel like I'm coming back, like seeing what it means to be a human being, what it is to be a human being. And that's something we all feel when we say, hey, I'm an alien. I'm nothing but an alien. But we are something more than aliens, because I brought it up before. An alien just means a foreigner. Wait. Am I right? Alien. Come on, not the movie, brah. Not the movie, brah. Belonging to another. Other. Belonging to another. Other. Like something is other. Something is other. Something is not us. It's this and then it's that. When really we are this and that. We are this and that. And it can sound as wild as it can to you, but put on a VR headset. Or you are the character now and you're still you. How you feel about things is, and how you thinking about things is how you gonna move around in that realm. And how you feel about things is how you acting in that other realm. Feelings are actions as well. You could be feeling like you gotta stay in this space, because if you move out of this space while you in the VR space, you can move anywhere. You think you can move anywhere, but while you're in this space, which we would touch, where we would say our feelings, like say that's our feelings, that's a whole nother realm. If I don't put that barrier, if I put a barrier up, like say I'm saying stationary, it would know I'm stationary. But I mean, if I put the room scale up, I could trace a barrier so I don't jump into any objects. But the awesome feeling that people have is some people that go around and trace their whole house with the barrier, so then they can move around as free as possible. But most people, their house is not clean enough. They don't feel, their feelings are still cluttered. There's still a lot of things in the way. So they're not able to have in that a boundary-free feeling world. Work on it, you can see it. It's still possible, but it's a lot. It takes some work. It takes some work. It takes actually doing it. It's actually pretty simple, because just taking the simple cliches and admitting it to yourself. Oh, I did fuck up. Oh, I actually am pretty awesome. Oh, I did do this. Oh, I actually did feel like this situation. I actually was hurt. I actually did want to come off like this. I just think I'm going to start coming off like this in these kind of situations. If it feels like this, I won't stop it from erupting. Hey, King guys. Hey, King guys. Welcome. Everybody check out King Guy's channel. He's been live, so consistent. I'm proud of that, King Guys. Salute to that. The consistency is key. And it shows just me looking at you and you like, hey, I'm going to keep on feeling like doing what feels good to me. Making these videos, making this art. Because like I said, my daughter was saying she making a lot of videos, some awesome cuts and stuff, but she's like, I'm making TikToks. I'm like, no, you ain't making TikToks. You making videos, making art that you can put on that TikTok want. That TikTok is looking for. You ain't making TikTok, you making videos, art. Remember. But that's our feelings for you. That's a metaphor for y'all about feelings and VR and boundaries. And once y'all get a VR headset, y'all will know what I'm actually talking about, what I'm talking about. But for those of y'all living the future now, y'all get it. Y'all got a glimpse. But the disassociation and me feeling like that for a long time, but still I'm feeling a lot more connected to my body now. A lot more. And I'm seeing how at glimpses of life, I was going for that, feeling like I wanted to be in my body through sex, through music, through dealings with certain people, and trying to feel like I was doing something. And that's what we all were, and that's awesome. Keep it up, Ty. And I'm seeing to do that more, because I stopped all of that and was saying that and was just going back to, I stopped even talking to a lot of people. Like even friends that I had a long time and was just dealing with just me for a long time. Me just looking out and trying to reclaim what I felt like I was as a child because everything else was being too much with me actually being in the body. So disassociation at when you have the right mind states. Well, I mean, not even the right mind states. When you going into a certain mind state in order to help yourself and not just to get lost in the sauce and bring yourself out of a circumstance because you're not enjoying it and stuff like that. You can better yourself. I mean, you can bring yourself into a new purpose, into a different situation. Into a different situation. Yeah, I had to get off of that. I can't look at the numbers, but that's what it is. And when you put everything that I'm saying together, you'll get the ugly truth. You'll get the ugly truth that seem like it's something that don't make sense, seem like it's something that's dreadful, something that was like, ah man, fuck, or like that's not even what was supposed to happen. Because even now, me going back to that, and like I said, the Discord open. If anybody ever wants to jump in, the link is in the description. I got a couple more time to be here. Tying on the ugly truth, disassociation, out of body experiences, and that connecting to disassociation. Me having out of body experiences, psychedelic experiences. If y'all have out of body experiences, OBEs, let me know. Let me know, because it's all related. And some psychedelic experiences, I've seen my body being repaired and then coming back here. So, and then being inside another situation, seeing my body and stuff. So, it goes so many things to talk about, so many things to tie on when it comes to this world and what happens in this world, because it can be anything. It can be so many things. It is so many things. It is so many things. And to be a deliverer of the ugly truth. So it's something that comes with work, because sometimes we think that we're supposed to deliver it as ugly as it feels a lot of times. And some most of the times that is called for. Oh, did the chat stop? All right, there we go. And sometimes that is what it's called for. The ugly truth, to say something in the moment in order to correlate with your thoughts and what you're thinking. Because what you're thinking is what you're seeing. And everybody is seeing something. Everybody is seeing something. So when it comes down to relationships, where everything is like dealing with the self, how are you talking to yourself is how you're going to be dealing with everybody on the outside. So how you hear yourself even talking to outside people, outside things, your relationships, it feel like it's being overboard with anybody, anybody, any type of relationship, friendship, business ship, mom and dad ship. It all come to. I mean, I'm being more diligent about how my ship is being steered, while still letting it just go with the wind. Let the sails take me where it may. But while still on the ship, it's still things to be the captain of. It's still got the board mates to make things that make sure that the ship is still managed and still can float, still stay afloat. Because for me, I grew up not talking. I tell you about this. 'Cause I grew up not really telling people. I'm gonna end this with the podcast. I grew up not really telling people what was really on my mind as I grew up. I told people basically nothing. And if it wasn't something, if it was something, it was just something to be fun about. Because I didn't really have the time for people to bother me. The time wasn't really even made for people to bother me. I didn't have people around me that I actually called annoying. That said, oh man, I don't want to be around this person. Like they annoy the mess out of me. Like I grew up with my sister and like older folks too that I kind of said I didn't want to be around because they was old and stuff like that. But like never people that was in my vicinity, like friends and stuff, or even adults. I never said, man, I don't like that you're making me dress in this turtleneck. Or I probably liked it back in the day, but that I want to actually dress like this, or that I want to put my hair like this. Like I don't like that you doing this to me. I don't like that. I never was outspoken. I never spoke up for myself growing up. So as the years went by, I always seen that was too much. That was too much ugly, or it just wasn't necessary. I just wasn't built like that. I wasn't around. Just wasn't in me, as they say. So then, as I grew older, I started connecting with different music and different friends and emoting my what the started emoting myself different. What is that? Oh, my Bluetooth headphones connected to another device. Somebody must be playing something, jumping up. But as I got older, I started seeing how I started experiencing what it was to actually say what was on your mind if it was in a way that was bothering you. Like if it's something you really did not want to do, like that feeling starting rising up. Like this is something I actually don't this is something I actually don't want to do right now. I actually see a vision of what I want to do instead of seeing how I can work, how what you saying fits me in that picture somehow. You know, like, oh, this is what I want to say. Oh, this is what I have to say. Like, oh, I have something to say, and this is what it is. And then once you start saying that more and more, you start test playing in the waters. You start seeing it getting a little rough, and that can come with as you growing up. I mean, as I grew up, because most people go through this as teenagers, arguing with friends, saying, "Oh, I don't like that you did this," or "Oh, you need to shape up like that," or "Oh, I like when you treat me like this," or this and that. I didn't go through that. So now that I'm about to be 30 years old now, but for the past 6 years, they've been so different because I'm around a different type of group of people. Like right now, I'm just have Jamina, mother of our child, my soul, and Isla. How I forget her name? My baby girl, and most of the time she has her family around, so I'm around her family a lot. So these people I did not grow up with. So they grew up way different than me. So it's two different. Oh, that's where it's playing from. All right, I'm like, how did that just start playing by itself? How is that playing by? Hold on, give me a second. I gotta go get the phone and turn the Bluetooth off of there. It's playing stuff. Oh man, I hope I do not get copyrighted. I do not know how that plays. How is it doing it? What the Sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. All right. And where were we? Where were we? We were on here. Okay. So, take a deep breath. Feeling more connected to what I was saying. I moved in. I mean, I'm over here in California, 3,000 miles away, but from my family, 3,500 some miles away from my family. In distance, how we calculate. I don't really believe in distance. I talk to my mom like every day. Even I feel her too. But yeah, so me having to speak up, us growing up with these different terms, like I grew up with a lot of different older personality types. So I had five grandmoms, and I grew up in church. And I never lived in the same house. I always been back for my mom house, my grandma house. In the summer, I would stay in Virginia for 2 months. So I grew up way different. And then they grew up with their mom, and it was them riding it out against everybody else, against even sometimes like they other family members. So it's a whole different dynamic field on life, on how we come together. So me, with all of this energy going around and me learning about taking mushrooms and being in these circumstances, it's a huge it's a huge thing about knowing what's the ugly truth, how to present it, what it actually means for myself, and what it means for other people. Does it mean anything to anybody else but me? Does it mean more, like all of them ups and turvies? That's my actual experience, and it come with a lot of clashes because I don't, like I said, I didn't grow up actually having to say things to people about how I felt. Even as growing up, if I stopped liking you, I would stop talking to you. I would like I wouldn't say, "Oh, I don't like you no more. We can't talk." I would disappear. I would disappear. You'd never see me again, and I would just keep moving on. And now, when I grow older, I see the disconnection and how the communication, even with leaving, communicate how I really felt, could have promoted better, faster growth in certain areas. But that's just the way it played out, and now I don't take nothing back. So that's can't. It's not even I take nothing back. That's just a phrase people say to sound like, oh, I actually was probably thinking it, but I was not thinking about it at all. But the phrase, and that's not. Don't get caught up in phrases. You'll be in a lot of arguments just because you said something thinking it sounded cool. That's what I learned too. Just mouthing off, saying stuff real fast, real fast. But it's a beautiful thing seeing the correlation and how life prepped me to have these experiences. They have their experiences, and then we come together. But it does get scary, tying and saying the ugly truth and stuff at times where it seems like where you don't say the truth, that thing's cool, and then when you say the dreadful truth, we broke this down in the beginning. Ugly, etymology is, when you break it down, it's has dreadful connected to it. So it's something you dread. That's what ugly means. Something you don't want to hear. You resent it. So, and then sometimes you get into that with mushrooms. You get into that field sometimes and power trips and being like, "Hey, man, like this is the idea that I have, and I don't know what else is going on, and this is how it's going to be, the ugly truth." And that's the thing about words. Cause I said, get caught up in the world. This is the ugly truth. I gotta present it like this. Everything's fucked up. Why is it like this? Why I don't understand. Why would you do this? But you gotta go deeper. You gotta go deeper. The ugly thing that you even see in that moment is something that yourself in that moment is resenting. So then why are you, the mushroom that me work with, why am I resenting that? Why do I feel a opposition to that in the first place? And then that's what started getting me connected back to my actual life and that disassociation feeling, but actually feeling connected to my body and starting getting memories and seeing why do I actually feel and participate in life the way that I actually do, instead of leaving it up to a movie, leaving it up to a book or show or something and being like, oh yeah, I see myself in that situation. No, it's so magical. That's me. That's another me in that situation doing exactly that. And that's why it's so important to pay attention to your story, because our mind, we are powerful. We are doing all of this. But in that we, it's a I somewhere. Not the eternal I, you know what I mean? Like here, a one. It's a one here somewhere. It's a one and a two and a three and a four, five and a six. And they all got some things going on. They all have some real things, some corporal things going on. Some tangible things going on with them. And that's what we experience, and that's what I'm experiencing through this story. And the journey, as they say in Pokemon, goes on. Every episode. The journey continues. But me feeling more myself is like an awesome breeding ground for my own personality type. Because as well, I started learning about astrology and seeing how Sagittarius, sun signs, their actions are perpetuated around just getting away from a situation. Like, man, I got too much fire for this. Like, it was thought like I don't know. I'm out. I'm out. So I'm really balancing myself out through these situations, but also I'm growing with knowing how to not harm myself by even being mad at other people for actions. Like, and by causing myself to then be in an action that I would then be mad about later. Like, mad about in a way of not being upset about my intentions and stuff like that, but being upset by the way that, not being upset, but like, man, that could have been delivered in a more wholesome way. And not a wholesome way where the energy is absent, but a way where it's a wholesome way. I'm using all of my character personalities that I developed and or tap into, and not just the one thing that feel hurt and is tapped into the one channel that got the feeling of, yeah, this is what was going on. Let's channel that through the hurt. Oh man, you know this happened. Then you did this and you said this, but you forgot you even said this before, that I missed this. You misconfiguring my story, not listening, and all this stuff. And that's real things. And then I'm seeing, because you will yell for eternity. We get high off of that. People high off of anything that they do. Like I said, a habit is so powerful because it deals with, you could tell the story that it deals with our neurochemistry, our dopamine receptors, our serotonin receptors. You get lifted off of it. That's why people stay in troubled relationships for years, millennia, and it was all because it felt good. It felt good even though it didn't look good. Because our neurochemistry. But I'm not a slave to my neurochemistry. But I am still a slave to the heart. But that's still just an eternal story that I play on myself in romantic matters. Like, I'm in the romantic movie right now. But yeah, yeah. And other things what I was saying about connecting to the source and letting it out. All right, it's a good tree. Gotta be chilling on the thoughts. But connecting and knowing what to let out and things like that in the moment is going to come through experiencing. It's going to really come through experience your own story while in the nitty gritty. Not even just playing it safe. Not playing it safe. Like I said, playing it safe, you'll get hyped up off the dopamine and everything, and just be satisfied with the one punch of goodness that comes out of the relationship, or the play scene that y'all play, to make sure everything is cool, even though everything around y'all is not how you're talking about. Like, people talk about plans and dreams all the time, but a lot of times don't really is not moving into that fruition of the dreams. Is like a thought. It's just like a thought experiment, something to talk about, and talking about things. Another thing that we gets us high, or serotonin, and be like, ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. Like, even being on the Psy Tai Podcast, me talking, I'm getting all these hits, all these boom, 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 just all in the brain. So that's ways that we're programmed by not knowing how. I mean, unknown, have programs running in us that we unknowingly know is going on in the background, by having these hits of dopamine and serotonin and relationships, and loving that feeling. That is the love. That's where the real love is. The like I don't like all of this, but for some reason I still like it. Oh, this is crack, but this crack is good. Call me a crackhead all you want. But really, the crack is destroying all. It's destroying other things around you. Ain't cocaine. You think it's cocaine. You think it's the pure stuff. That shit is cut with some fentanyl. Something that is not really made. It's not cocaine. Something made to try to hype it up. But really being honest with yourself, the getting out of body, OBE is a real thing. It's not a metaphor. Not a metaphor. Get out of yourself. Look into yourself and see what's going on. And when you're honest with yourself, you'll start being more, it will correlate to you being honest or wanting to be honest at least with the people around you. Like, like, hey, I don't think you're doing too good right now. Like, if you go, I got this program, or give them something like, hey, man, I can't watch you do this. Like, I literally can't sit here every day and watch you do this. This is how it makes me feel. Now, if we like this, and you continuously like not making, cause nobody can make you feel like something, but this is how I'm feeling when I'm around you. If that person don't really like correlate the matters, then how can that person be said to really be on one, heart to heart with you? And it's not just all about thinking and just trying to make things a certain way when things around is really revealing the ugly truth. When we can make that into a beautiful thing. Or look at it. All ugly things ain't beautiful, ain't supposed to be disgusting. You see people that idolize ugly dogs. That's a thing. People love having ugly dogs. I'm gonna show y'all proof. What's ugly dogs? See, look, the first thing that pop up, 50 ugly dogs that are still so darn cute. I always been into the weird and fascinating, the traveling circus. I always been to that, and now it's starting to correlate to my thoughts. The thought is ugly. It's still beautiful to me. What is it about? Let's go in it. Let's check it out. Let's see how life correlates to this when we put our life path to this. Even ugly dogs can be cute, especially when they flash those puppy dog eyes, snuggle up next to you. So many people agree that ugly dogs are adorable that the world's ugliest dog contest has been held annually for almost 30 years. And I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna hear nobody tie like how I tie. Because this is just how I think. This is how my brain processes information for me. Or how my being processes information. Not just my thought, but I think in pictures, think in metaphors, I think in cartoons, I think it just be like that. I'm not even thinking, like I said before, that's the world that I'm in. That's the topsy-turvy world that I come from. Y'all want to put it like that. And you probably are too. If y'all are, jump in the chat. World's ugliest dog contest has been held 30 years. Owners from around the globe bring their pups to California to celebrate each dog's unique beauty. Because in those ugly moments is a unique opportunity. And that's what the mushroom showed me. The ugliest thing is a unique opportunity to change something around. Like I brought up that simulation, the stage by Avenged Sevenfold song before, when he said I was able to overlook the ugliness and fantasize. Once he's able to overlook the ugliness, he's then able to fantasize, to have some new fantasies. Because if you're fantasizing about something, it's probably not like related to something you see around you, something that's being conjured up, or something, a new reality that you're able to experience for probably the millionth time, but it seemed like the first time. And now while you're here on Earth, you're able to bring out a new situation for yourself to live off of. And you see this a lot of time with the music that we run into. It always seems ugly at first to some people, not all people, some people of the previous generation, or to the old gods. And then you got the new gods coming about. And the old gods saying, this is not the way it's supposed to be. And then the new gods having all these new feelings and relationships and stuff. And that's how it always keeps on going. And in relationships, it can be in ways where, because a lot of us are sensitive in ways where we was hurt while we was growing up here on Earth during our process of developing our being. Trauma, PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, comes in many different forms. It's not just from the war, not just from gunshots, but from certain relationships we had with our parents, certain relationships we had with ourselves. All experiences shape the next moment. All we know is experience. We could think all we want, but all we act on is our experiences, what we've been through. Even if somebody's saying, "Hey, think like this," and you do it, then that was an experience of the person saying that. So man, you're doing it. So or at least thinking about it, even if it's 5 years later or something like that. But we all have a lot of things, and it could come in different forms and have people more traumatized than most. Like have people, and I mean by traumatized, and not having people be able to look at the ugliness, at the way, the ugly truth, at the way that as the way that it already presented itself, but trying to cover it up with a beautiful lie, something else, and then keeping that game up, which you could do, but it's another game than a game. So on that journey of like really being strong on a spiritual path and being a strong magician, that's part of the picture for me, is knowing and realizing that we all have these stories, but being growing up, growing and learning, being able to learn more and powerful spells than, and or encounter more powerful spells, because you always trying to encounter spells and it's like, oh, I'm just working what was already in me and now it works. To work on reality, to to have more serene days, more scenic days. Like you took the scenic route instead of the hectic route where you just everything just looks so beautiful around you, so lovely. You just want to take part in it instead of saying, "Oh, that's a lot going on. I gotta prepare for this, or I gotta do this," and like plot so much. Uh, Plot so much. Mm. Yeah, yeah, and that's why friendship is power. I posted a video on the Just Laugh Now show, and it was saying the villain, which is all them thoughts popping up, trying to do this, trying to do that, and this and that. It said the villain training to destroy the hero who defeats them only through the power of friendship. And it was like on the treadmill, they was running, doing circles on the treadmill at like 20 miles an hour, and then he was doing the treadmill with weights holding it up. He's doing like all these extreme fast exercises, like training hard, thinking hard, trying to do all of this. When the power of friendship, really just working together, connecting the mind state, the hive mind, achieving the mind state, or tapping into the mind hive state that's already at being and not being lost in the sauce, is going to destroy anything. It's going to overpower anything. And when you even like that with yourself, using the power of friendship within yourself instead of training extra hard, that's still part of the villain. Because like I said, we trauma, and that comes with being strong. That comes with being strong. That's being the ugly truth through too, thinking that it's just that, but it's also both things: training and friendship. Training hard, training and friendship. And that's what I believe like makes me relaxed when I'm training hard by doing the do, exercising, exercising the body, exercising my truth, my personal truth, how I encounter reality, and still being friendship and friendly with people, but still in the training and exercise level, not allowing that to. It won't allow it. It just won't, because your thoughts will be so clear that you're like, this is just not what I do. Like that's just not the game that I play. It won't be a fight like, I'm tired of this. Or, man, I don't know. Like I said, that's a hit there saying, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Because when you saying I'm tired of this all the time, like, if you just stop being tired of it, the thoughts won't even come to even entertain those situations the least bit. You'll start literally having things already prepared so that those situations won't even pop up in the first place. And if they do, you're just like, it is what it is. You won't fuck with the energies like you used to. Yeah. Because one of the terms, the truths, the ugly truths that would be terms towards schizophrenia, but I would term towards that's the game that we play, is that we all play a game on each other. We always playing a game on each other with words, seductions, hypnotisms, and friendship. Even if it's just to play around as a joke, because I mean, it is a joke. It's all one big joke, and like somebody that's playing a joke that you sometimes don't get. Sometimes you just don't get it at the time. But it's always one big joke because we never really die. So don't let anybody ever scare you with death. That's the ultimate prank. That's the ultimate prank. Thinking that you're about to die, assimilating yourself to think that you're about to die, doing habits, developing habits around thinking that you're about to die. That's why we push ourselves to have these fear, to push ourselves parasailing, to push ourselves with pranks. I was looking at this prank where this guy was with his buddy, and they have his buddy girl that was the person that was being pranked, and he took a picture of her while she was on the couch and sent it to her somehow. Somebody got her number. She's like, wait a second, somebody's probably in her house, and then he threw a shoe. She got right into survival mode and got the paintball gun. So I think somebody down there get the kids. And as soon as she saw them, I was laughing so much because she just unleashed the clip like do 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 and said, "Yo, get him!" Then ran to the step. Do 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 do. And the guy was like, "Hey, it's me, Marco, it's me." He said, "Ah, you done lit up my back." But it was so funny witnessing that because she went into her mode of like, "Oh, this is what I had to do," and stuff like that. And that's when people get into that term too. You hear people say, "Oh, people using us as an experiment." And people say, "Oh, that's not cool. That's not. It's the shadow government. It's people putting us all out like this." But it's always a choice, and those choice is a whole deeper matter. And people that work in psychology, people that work in hospitals, they really see this. I talked to a nurse that works in a department where people come in because they had a drug related accident. So they mind is somewhere else, fractured. They making decisions on reality that's causing them to have harm on their body. So he said he sees how a lot of people don't. I mean, to him, it seems like a lot of people seem walking around like they don't have a choice in the matter of what they're actually doing. Why they choose to be addicted to things, to certain things, and get into certain habits and lifestyles. And he see how things set up with climates, with the climate of a neighborhood, personality types and things like that. And he's an atheist, so he's real clinical about the body and just taking in what he's just seeing. Like, this is what I'm witnessing. Like, some people seem like they do not have a choice in the matter, and that's why they're making the decisions and getting hurt and things like that, because it is all in your mind, and it is related to your neurochemistry that correlates to your body, because it's really the same thing. Your mind, you say connect your mind, body, and spirit, but it's always connected. That's why people got different neurochemistries running around. And when people, not everybody's been studied from all these brain related studies that we hear. It's not from everybody. That's why I've always been eager since I was a teenager to have my brain studied. Because I wanted to know what was going on. Like, what makes my brain different? Like, what makes me so different? Got to be something about my brain and things like that. So that's the path about figuring out what's going on. What's up, XO? Figuring out what's in the brain, what's going on with myself. Yeah. Oh man. When y'all see me go blank, I'm really seeing this because I really be seeing, thinking about what is being thought about. Yes, sorry. I, I can't help it. That's me. And the processor's got to process. A builder's got to build. But I was just thinking about how I was even going to talk to y'all. Well, I was thinking about how I was envisioning how, or in that thing, how and how when I blink out is mostly because when I'm talking, I'm seeing what I'm talking about. And then sometimes if I think about water, I'm literally in that world of water. And And then it's like, all right, where that portal go back to where I was at before? Like it's really like, but I love the pictures I get of me trying to look for it, and that's why I can't wait until like things are so pronounced in the mind. Like say a technology where we can present what we're thinking, like it can create something like it's connected to this sensor that we're not familiar with yet, but it's always out there being created. Then the like a TV signal, it picks up on it. A TV receiver, it picks up on it, and then you could just see it on the screen. Just tie, just tie, just tie. I was just thinking about a way that that would actually be put together. That would be dope. Cause it's all real. Everything that's going on inside of us is happening. It's happening. Just the world we in now is so separated. Not really. But just me saying it's so separated is in our cliche language that that's just what how it is. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Think I'm going to sign on out of here. Oh, I was just looking at this. Look at that. Got a monkey. But that looseness of mind is what I appreciate. Do we make new language? Yep. And the moment that is needed, it pops up, searching for those words. Or do we discover a language? Because I was Exile. You ever see the? I want to play the movie for us later because I want to rewatch it. On the Discord. It's called Spell. It's a guy that it takes place in Norwegian. I was about to say Norwegian. In the Norwegian country. Let's say that. I think it's ice. Yeah, that is the word. Iceland, Iceland, Greenland because it was cold. It was cold. It was ice there. So it was Greenland, and he wanted to do something different with his life. So Spell. So he meets this guy that's going to take him on this journey out in the wilderness and things like that. And he don't know what's going on. They putting him through all these trials and everything. But at a certain point in the movie, he goes into what psychiatrists would call psychosis, or what I say, tapping into the multidimensional being of self. And he starts moving his hands in a certain way and speaking a language. This is another form of what I'm talking about, what I'm thinking of language. Now that you say new, I'm thinking of something else now. But stick to this story. He was moving his hands in a way that wasn't familiar to himself wakingly, like in his waking life. And he was saying a language, and he was doing some, he was just speaking it. And the other guy was watching him. He was like, yeah. It was new to the guy, but he was like, yeah, you unlocking the old language of power, of magic and stuff like that. I forget exactly how he said it, but that was the demeanor that he had. So he was tapping into it, and it was, and then throughout the movie, he was going to unlocking memories about his childhood and certain circumstances about his life that wasn't really dealt with. It was kind of mushroom like, because mushroom and spiritual experiences really no difference. Just how you get there. How are you gonna get there? And he was being deprived of food, and he was just doing spells, and he tapped into his Norwegian, I mean his Greenlandic. I never used that word before. Is it Greenlandic? His Greenlandic nature of self, and he was like, in the end, it just ended with him walking into the waterfall butt naked. It's like I just go like he understood it a lot at that point. You will say. So it's forming new language. I could say we most likely we can discover language, and probably from a reality that we was in before as well, or that's already there, and we like, hey, this worked there. When I use this here, it's going to work. It's going to form. It's going to have this power here. Like even using the word swag, it's swag English. Is it Japanese? Is it is it Norwegian? Anybody can say swag. Swag is just swag. It doesn't have a connotation to a certain thing. Like if a Japanese say swag, they not gonna say, "Oh, we have a word for swag." Like that's that word. That's not swag. So in terms of that too, when things come here, I think we do create new words and languages. But shit, English came out of or evolve language. We evolve language, but still, because accent does play a part to how it's spelled, and spelling does matter. Like where did it pop up first? But still, y'all know exactly what I mean. Like that's why I use that example. Swag. If Japanese person say it, they say swag. If a Chinese person, they say swag. anybody, anybody else, swag. Ty, sometimes I'm just listening, like you dive in a deep sea submarine. I'm thinking about. Hold on, I gotta read that word so I don't read it wrong. Cause difference. He said, Ty, man, Ty, sometimes I'm just listening like you dive in a deep sea submarine. I'm just looking out the window of the mind's eye. Uploads, downloads, higher, lower self, lingo. Yeah, yeah, it's all lingo. It's all really mean the same thing. The essence is what it is what I'm always after. You can create anything, but it's for feeling what pops up when you say it. And that feeling that I'm just diving into it's a whole world. And what you were saying, Martin, I was literally just thinking about how I read the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and how that awakened that was a huge key to unlocking my mind and how I feel about things and how I think about things. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. About the guy I'm thinking and confused with Moby Dick. So let me let me look it up real quick. Do 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 do. It says zoom in. During the year 1866, ships of various nationalities sight a mysterious sea monster, which is later suggested might be a gigantic narwhal. The U.S. government assembles an exhibition in New York City to find and destroy the monster. A French biologist in the story's narrator is in the town at the time and receives a last minute invitation. He accepts. The exhibition leaves Brooklyn. Hold on, I want to get to the real story. A hurtled into the sea, jumps into the. Come on. Here it is. The rest of the novel describes the protagonist's adventures aboard the Nautilus, which was built in secrecy and now roams the seas beyond the reach of land-based governments. In self-imposed exile, Captain Nemo seems to have a dual motivation: a quest for scientific knowledge and a desire to escape terrestrial civilization. Nemo explains that his submarine is electrically powered and can conduct advanced marine research. He also tells his new passengers that his secret existence means he cannot let them leave. They must remain on board permanently. Are you on this? We on. They visit many oceans regions, some fractal and some fictitious. Huh? Yeah, like they went deep on this. They went. I really gotta read this to see what those fractal regions they was talking about, and fictitious, as this Wikipedia descriptor described it. Sunken vessels, the Antarctic ice barrier, the transatlantic and the legendary underwater rim of Atlantis. Nothing that we encounter in life is for no reason. Thank you, Martin, for allowing me to go back into this book. Cause that thought I was in that world thinking this, and I was like, yo, I gotta see that book again. That was really a cool moment in my life. But like I said, a lot of things I run across, I like that disassociation feeling. Like I forgot. I don't even recognize it. I just was, oh, life changing. On to the next life changing. But underwater rim of Atlantis. They even traveled to the South Pole and entrapped in an upheaval of an iceberg on the way back, caught in a narrow gallery of ice, which they forced to dig themselves out. The passengers also done diving don diving suits, hunt sharks and other marine fauna with air guns in the underwater forest. It's an underwater forest of the Capesto Islands. So stuff people don't even know about. It's worlds under the oceans. And also attend an undersea funeral for a crew member who died during a mysterious collision experienced by the Nautilus. When the submarine returns to the Atlantic Ocean, a school of giant squid, devilfish, attacks the vessel and kills another crewman. The novel's later pages suggest that Captain Nemo went into undersea exile after his homeland was conquered and his family slaughtered by a powerful and perilous nation. Following the episode of Devilfish, Nemo largely avoids Anornax, who begins to side with Ned Land. I don't know. We gotta see who that guy is. Ultimately, the Nautilus is attacked by a warship from the mysterious nation that has caused Nemo such suffering. You ain't going out there eventually. Like, you here. Deal with it. Deal with it. In that life. Carrying out his quest for Nemo revenge, Boom Anorax dubs an archangel of hatred, rams the ship below the waterline and sends her to the bottom. Much to the professor's horror, afterward Nemo kneels before a portrait of his deceased wife and children, then sinks into a deep depression. I thought this was the juice. They really trying to say everything. Hold on, I want to see what happens in the end. Before the departure, however, the professor eavesdrops on Nemo and overhear him calling out in anguish, "Almighty God, enough, enough." The guy immediately joins his companions and they carry out the escape plans as they board the submarine stiff and they realize that the Nautilus has seemingly blundered into the ocean in the deadliest whirlpool. They escaped, found refuge on an island in Norway. The submarine's ultimate fate, however, remains unknown. And that's what I want to know. What happened to the ship in the end? It is unknown. Here go a picture of the Nautilus. It's a sequel to the book. Even trace of the novel's initial concept detail. 5 years later, Captain Nemo. He came back. Captain Nemo, that's like a big thing, isn't it? It was an early submarine that was built. That's where he got the name Nautilus from. Yeah, I've run across these books a lot. It's a lot of book that nobody really know about. I'm gonna bring up. I read it before, and it's not coming to me right now. About a guy that journeyed to the center of the earth. Yeah, but nothing is for no reason. Nothing is for no reason. So these old books of fantasy. That's how people gonna look at the books we got now, and then they're gonna have their journeys and ventures and life growing up. And they're like, "Yo, I read this book when I was younger about virtual reality." the Ready Player One book and stuff. And even things even more mysterious. Like, y'all gonna see the books that I come out with. All right, but yeah, that's that right there. Captain Nemo. Captain Negro. Yeah, this is where he came from. I was thinking, who was the guy in Moby Dick? Captain and Moby, and then I'm gonna be out. I'm diving deep. Oh, Captain Ahab. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But yeah, let's continue the journey deep, and explore the mysteries of the mind of the world around us. Same thing. Same thing. If y'all go with anything today, just know the ugly truth is beautiful. So stick with yourself, and you'll always have help. When it seems as though you don't have anybody. Thank you, Martin, Exile, King Guys, for participating in the Psy Tai Podcast, for making yourself known, your voice heard. causing some wakes in the wave in the ocean. And we're gonna keep the journey up. As I was bringing up before, if y'all wasn't here in the beginning, I will have limited edition. Let me take off the camera. Limited edition prints of what, you ask? Of what? The tension is rising as I click on the filter so y'all can see the whole thing. I'll have limited edition prints of the proclamation of eternity by I. And yeah, this is the back. It's going to have some special things on the back too. I didn't put there yet. Here it is. Up close for those of us there in the beginning. I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun destroying this art project. And putting it into a huge, a nice size poster board, being able to feel it tactile and stuff. Because, you know, we're so used to that too. Again, used to the new digital sensors. So I'm gonna be having some NFTs too as well, where you'll also be able to get a physical copy. So that you can, in your own world, still call it real, even though reals was tangible, what you can feel and stuff like that. And as time progress, you will be able to feel things in the virtual world. Because as touch sensors and everything improves. So it will be available, things gonna be available as NFTs, a lot of art projects, as well as physical, just keeping the game going and being able to keep the channel alive. Because I put a lot of money into these projects, into everything. It's where all my money goes. That's why I'm even making my own clothes and stuff now and things like that, so I can actually have something, have the motivation to wear new clothes. Because I don't want to buy them clothes. I'm just having the full throw. I can make my own clothes and stuff like that. And make my own stuff. So I'm putting the means to do what has to be done into equipment, computers, cutting thing, the circuit cutting board, shirts. I just bought some, dropped a load on some jean jackets because I fell in love with the Stay Wavy jean jacket that I picked up. I really love it. Stay Wavy. So there's some more things coming. Some more things because I really enjoy creating, participating in the reality that I am right now. Like it feels comfortable. Feel comfortable in my own skin and doing these kind of things, talking, tying alongside with y'all, and also creating. So, if y'all believe in this project, help keep it alive by supporting the art. And so I'm gonna be going out in public soon because I really need this. I really got to start having some things come back. So I'm gonna be putting myself even more out there by going out, getting the business license, and I'm gonna be going out to the parks and just tying alongside with people, asking people stories, and having the art alongside the picture. Going to farmers markets and stuff like that. I'm getting into growing lion's mane mushrooms. So I'm having fun. I'm having fun. So if you want to see me be able to enjoy life and be able to have other people enjoy life too, because the business is going to grow, and I want to have other people, if you already want to participate in this as well, in ways of having art that you want to have put out into the world and everything, then hey, let's collab on that. It's always going to be the beginning stages for me. No matter how far we go, it's always going to be like it's new, because that's how the magic started in the first place. So yeah, let's keep the bills up, and let's and if you know anybody that would want to sponsor the Psy Tai Podcast as well, I won't change up what I say, but now I won't change it up. If they like it for what it is, let's collab, because I'm collabing with all the thoughts in my mind. Like, oh, fuck corporism, fuck all. Like, no, it's all good. It's all good. So shout outs to Exile. Get one of his Ordinite pyramids. You can get the link to that on the Just Tie Now website. Support the art of everybody around us. I have this always sitting right beside me. Yeah. So I'm out. Ty always combine your mind with your heart. See what your gut mind is saying. Connect all those three circles and let whatever come out just come on out. Adios.